and we'll see you a little bit later. Now then, the Royal Society for the Prevention of Accidents has found that since 1999, at least 22 children have died accidentally and tragically after being strangled by the looped cord of a window blind.
For Jamie and Tracy Warner, that tragedy is still all too raw. In December last year, their 2-year-old daughter, Emily, lost her life after a window blind string got tangled around her neck.
Well, they join us now, along with Ross Carroll from Child Safety Charity Prevention Town, and welcome. First of all, thank you so much for coming in today. I know that the reason you want to do this is to highlight this issue and prevent this from happening to anybody else, which is why you say this is all still so raw, not getting over it, not in any way, you know, sort of really adapting yet, because it's still so new to you as a family. So if there's at any point if this gets too tough, then don't worry, because we can fill in the gaps for you. Okay. So you were married in 2005, and then you had James in 2007 and Emily in 2009. You say that you were the perfect unit. And how did the kids get on together?
They got on really well, didn't they?
Yeah, they loved each other. They were best friends.
Doted on each other.
And Emily was a model child, really, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was very naughty, but in a nice way.
Yeah.
Just into everything, and she was never ever sad. I could count on my hand how many times she ever cried. She was just brilliant, just normal toddler.
And getting to that age where she's just turned 2, so her real sort of personality is just starting to come through.
Yeah, she's very funny. Everyone used to laugh with her and everything. She was,
and at that age, into everything.
Into everything, yeah.
Just a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in June of last year, she turned 2, so you had a big family barbecue.
That's right, yeah.
At the beginning of the summer. And then in August the 25th last year, this was the terrible day. What was the routine? What happened at about, you know, that time of the evening?
Well, we put Emily to bed at 6 o'clock, and just as it happens, we put James to bed at the same time because he was misbehaving, so he went to bed at the same time as a punishment. So we read Emily a story, come down about 6:15. I thought I'd have a half hour to sleep on the sofa because it was on a night shift. James was making a racket upstairs, so I went up there to tell him off to keep the noise down. While I was up there, I thought I'll just check on Emily, see if she's okay. Got in her room. She was behind the curtains, looking. It appeared she was looking out the window, looking in the street. So I told her to get down. She didn't answer, so I went to get her. And that's when I pulled the curtains aside. Saw the cord was wrapped around her neck, and she was lifeless and sort of blue. And
so you pulled her down.
Yeah, I grabbed her, unwrapped the cord, rushed downstairs. I shouted to Tracy to run over the road and get my brother-in-law and phone an ambulance. So I come down, I started CPR. Well, in a minute, so Dave was over there, he took over from me, and then it sort of really hit me then.
Did you get any signs that you might be able to bring her back then?
Well, you're never going to bring her back. I mean, you can only sort of keep her going, wait for the ambulance. But
yeah. So she didn't. No. She didn't make any sort of noises or anything like that.
No, she was completely unconscious, and all her lips had gone blue and sort of purplish in the face.
Yeah.
So the ambulance arrived and she was taken to Addenbrooke's Hospital, and they scanned her brain immediately, and actually this first scan came up as clear.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So at this point, obviously, you're aware that the brain has been starved of oxygen, so the horrible situation you're facing is that there could be some complication within the brain. So obviously, having those results of the scan, there must have been an element of relief slightly in there.
Yeah. I just was really relieved. I thought, you know, she's going to be all right. She's going to wake up and she's going to be fine.
Further treatment. She was then taken into intensive care for 5 days and put into an induced coma.
Yeah. Just to prevent swelling on her brain, just to sort of keep her sort of calm and sort of relax where she can't sort of stress herself. And
then at the end of that time, when she came out of that induced coma, what was the prognosis? What did they say? Well, again, she wasn't right when she come round, but they said it could still be the anaesthetic could take a few days to wear off. She's had a lot, and she's been under for a few days, and we still had the initial prognosis saying, well, there was no initial signs of any sort of damage. Then we had a meeting a few days after that. We went into a room and they said, well, we've had a deeper look at the scan and it appears that she's got moderate to severe brain damage. And you went through intensive physio for her, and worked on her there. And you say that she couldn't talk and she couldn't eat, and so that she had a feeding tube fitted, and it was at that time when she had the feeding tube fitted that things began really. She got very agitated.
Well, we was moving to the Children's Trust in Surrey to ongo rehabilitation for so it was decided to have a gastrostomy, which is a tube into her belly, because at the time she had one for her nose, which she can't live with forever. So, we went to Surrey with that, and it got infected, and the hole got quite big, as what was coming in was coming out. So she just really wasn't accessing any.
She wasn't absorbing none of her medication.
No, and she wasn't accessing any of their rehabilitation, so it was pointless her being there. So they discharged her from there, brought her back to Addenbrooke's to sort of get that right with her mind to go back.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, with all best efforts on everyone's part, she passed away on December the 1st last year. How did James take that?
He misses her more than I don't say he'd grieve for her. I don't think he understands grief, but he misses her.
Doesn't understand where
friend.
She is.
No,
he suddenly just comes out of comments.
Yeah, he'll ask her if he wants to see her, and I think he'll
comments.
ask questions that he knows the answer to, just to test you, just to make sure you're not lying to him.
Yeah.
But this is a blind that was fitted before you had children.
Yes.
And your words, you say that you didn't look for a problem.
No.
You didn't see danger because you didn't look for danger.
No, you don't even think about the blinds, do you?
Yeah, we've done all the normal things like caps on the plug sockets, boarding up banisters, stair gates.
All the obvious
things.
thing. I mean, I've got young children myself, and the first thing we've got a blind cord at home in our kitchen, and the first thing I did when I read through this morning, I was like, go and hook it up, because there are simple measures that you can take, and this is what the campaign is all about, making people aware of these measures, these steps, small steps, life-saving steps.
So what is the Prevention Town?
Prevention Town, we provide educational material to schools and hospitals and to parents alike, highlighting stories like this to make people aware, because I mean, until this was highlighted to me fairly recently, I wasn't aware of this as being another problem that needed to be addressed. So what we do is we produce education animations which we give to schools and hospitals and through our websites, where we educate people on various different subjects. And we're going to be working together, hopefully, to produce a programme where we can make everybody in the country understand that there is an issue here, and they can do simple things for very little money.
Yes, so how can you prevent a tragedy like this?
Right, these cord winders which you can buy mainly through websites at the moment, such as safetots.co.uk, where you take off the toggle, just wind the string around that, and it works like a tape measure, so it pulls the cord right in and goes up high, out of reach of
one being
children.
Used here, so that's
okay. You can get those from anything from £8.99 all the way down to £2.49, so very, very accessible. And failing that, just a simple cleat, put up high by a window or by a patio door where they can be wound right up, well out of the reach of children. And failing that, if there is families out there who just simply haven't got the money to purchase anything or haven't got the ability to screw something onto the wall, just cut the loop, and tie it up high. Simple as that. And then if we can get everybody to do that on every blind around the country, then this will not happen again.
But it's not just, I mean, it's not just the blind pulls either, it's anything that's looped like this. Anything you might hang over a cot, a bag, or whatever it is.
Phone cables, TV cables, there's other toys out there.
Drawstring bags.
Drawstring bags, you know, what do you call them?
Like belts?
Yeah, belts. Anything that a child can hook their heads in at a young age. You know, this normally happens between ages of 18 months and 3 years. And the head is disproportionately heavier than the body at that age. So if they do get their heads lodged into something, they haven't got the strength in their body to actually get their heads out. So everybody just has to have a little think around the home just to make sure that anything like this, you know, to be dealt with and out of the reach.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much indeed for coming in today. We'll put all the details on our website. Thank you both for coming in at such a difficult time to highlight this. And as we always say, if something good can come out of this and you prevent this from happening to somebody else, then at least you've managed to get something out of this.
That's what we wanted to do, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
If you